Hey guys, welcome to Clockwork Noodles. I'm back. Hello and welcome to Japan. I guess you guys have got some questions and I am considering doing a Q&A session. We might be doing that as a stream. I've been playing around with my setup and I'm getting there. I think things are slowly arriving. I just need to get hold of a few things, but I think if you guys are interested, we could do a Q&A session live stream where I basically will set a time. I don't know how we're going to set a time that works for everyone, but we'll find one. And you guys can ask me questions about my move to Japan, how things are going, and stuff like that. I hope you guys are looking out for yourselves. This is going to be the 5th episode of the Elusive Samurai. Obviously, this video is a little bit late. Your next video will go out in about 2 days' time. I might have to bump it around anyway because I'm going to Nagasaki on Monday. Depending on what time I get back, your video is probably coming out on Tuesday, so bear that one in mind. Just before we get going as well, if you are wondering if I'm okay because there was an earthquake in Kyushu, I am okay. The earthquake hit my south part of this island and I'm fine. It was a 3 when it hit me. I was outside my apartment and I saw the building move. I felt it on my feet move. It was a very strange experience because I've never had an earthquake or I've never really been in danger of an earthquake before. It's going to be okay. Japan is one of those countries which, if an earthquake was to happen, a lot of the buildings here are suited to it. It's not so much earthquakes that are an issue here, it's more the after effects. So fingers crossed we're going to be okay. Bear with me because I actually lost my notes. I did record this once and I lost my notes because I thought the audio was okay and it really wasn't. The first bit where we had the continuation of the horseback race with the dogs, I still really like it. I thought it was very cleverly done. I would have probably lost my crap if he had just turned around and said headshot. Because when he was going, oh, it's something that all the kids these days are talking about. And I was like, oh no, he's actually going to go headshot or something modern. And then him turning out and going, actually, it's the Parthenon shot. It's just the reason why I love that character in particular. But it was a very clever end to that little... But of course, you know that the guy is such a bad loser. It doesn't really matter where you live in this prefecture. It's just he's going to start taking bits and pieces of it because he's just that kind of person. Now, I did look into where Kamakura is. And surprisingly, it is south of Tokyo. For some reason, I thought it would be somewhere different. It just isn't. It's a lot closer than I thought. It makes more sense now that I'm here, so I can actually visualize it. And if they ever go to Kyushu, I'll get very excited. Another good thing that I want to praise about the show during this section in particular too is the music. It is ramping up. It's getting you excited for the action on the screen. So this week's episode I thought was really good. It also sets up the next character, and having another character in our mix is going to be a good one. I did actually go to a castle, so we went to Saga Castle today, and it was very similar with the daimyo sitting at the top, and again essentially it's our mad priest who sits at the top this time around, but you can see all of the people in the room all in little lines depending where you're sitting and how far away you are from our mad priest. It means that's how important you are in status. Now I live in the land of the cicada. Cicadas are just as loud as you imagine they are. When I went to Tokyo itself, I actually went out into Shinjuku for one day. It was just as loud in Tokyo than as it is here, because obviously I'm rural now. It was just shocking to me that I was in Tokyo, the biggest like capital kind of thing, and there was so much greenery. There was little parks and stuff, and there were cicadas living in those parks, and it was just equally as loud. So the anime's introduction of our next character was very cleverly done. Of course, it's by the demand of our awesome priest. Generally, anything he says now, I kind of perk up and listen to because I feel like he does know something. Last week, I picked up on how crazy it would be for him just pulling out the person that they were looking for in front of him. This actually has a very clever effect this week because the guy literally turns around and says, no, it's so dumb, he wouldn't do it. Nobody would just bring out the person that I'm looking for and leave them out. So when he comes back to the prefecture and he's all like, I'm taking this land here, make sure you have fun delivering the news to the people living in their homes. And he just looks at him, still struggling to think that he would do something so stupid by bringing out the person and having him on display. Sometimes it seems counterintuitive, but it does seem like the guy knows what he's doing. Lighting in this sequence, the sequence is nice, the lighting is really, really warm, and of course you get a nice vibe for the period of time that we're working in. Since being here, I am noticing there's like little anime characters everywhere. My prefecture in particular, there is Zombieland Saga absolutely everywhere, and it makes me so happy. But I was very, very happy to see the lighting and actually get a vibe for the period that we're dealing with. I also, being in Saga Castle, really got a vibe for the time period. But in Saga Castle, it is tatami mats. I have noticed in this anime, they have the hardwood flooring. The next character we're going to be focusing in on is, of course, the thief. I haven't picked up his name and I cannot remember. I think his name's Gemba. He's an interesting character. I really like the design. I like the fox mask as well, because they are mischievous. I believe kitsune are generally just fun. They can cause a little bit of mischief, but I think it works. And I do like the ninja-ish kind of look for the guy as well, because he's been hired in a way to get the seal. Without the seal, the guy can't go around claiming everything. He's going to have a hard time. No doubt that the current emperor is very, very busy, and he's not going to have a chance to go have another seal because you lost the other one. He's not going to be very impressed with the guy losing it. The negotiating breaking down was absolutely hilarious. So him asking, this is the money I want, and him expecting him to go, I'm so poor, I don't have that money. He's asking for a cheaper item, which makes him really, really like him. Because so obviously a prefecture is worth way more money than $1 million. I think it's 5 million he's asking for. It reminded me of the Austin Powers scene where he's like, I want $1 million. And he's like, a billion is more than $1 million. Did you know that? Because the guy had been asleep back in the time when he was, $1 million was a lot of money. So he was expecting them to go, no, that's way too much. And then him be allowed to go, I'm going to blow up the moon. In this case, he thought he was just going to give up and say, I can't afford to give you that money. Instead, he's turned around and gone, you are such a kind soul. You're only asking for that much money. That's all you want. It's hilarious. Love the confusion. And I also like the way that they appear as the angel and the devil on his shoulders, both telling him to try something and do this and do that. He's a character right now that is shrouded in complete mystery, and I really can't wait to develop the character, see what he's actually up to, because right now he has got this bit of a, can we really trust this guy? We don't know anything about him. All we know is he came at the recommendation of a crazy priest. What this guy's background is, whether we can actually get him on side or not, whether we can trust him and make him a really firm ally of the party. Going off style as well, I really like the way that this guy's powers work. So it seems like when he wears the mask, he has the ability to morph into a personality, tiny bit like a tanuki. I think tanukis can kind of do that. Him turning into the guy and having the ears turning around and going, I like them, I think they make me look cute, do you think it's working? I love it. That moment was absolutely hilarious, because it just proves that if you shout something enough and you're fearful enough, people will just turn around and accept anything. Because like, yep, you're cute, go away, don't hurt me, I'm terrified. Loved it. Now, the background we get with Gemba as well, him peeing into some rice, and proving why people in that village absolutely hate him. But I also really like the scene when he's introduced and I say, do you know where this guy is? And all of the doors are just slamming in the background, and it continues for a good while, bringing out some comic timing. The fact that it continues for a while and it drags on a little bit, it drags on just enough for it to still be funny. Really did like that. Now, the end chunk when we start to doubt whether we can trust this guy or not, it makes sense. You don't know this person, you don't know what they're up to. They're also a thief by nature, and it does have that moment where he's like, oh, you doubted me, didn't you, kind of thing. And he turns into him. I liked that. I thought it was really, really clever. Obviously, there's a limitation to his powers. He still has the ears and he still has the markings on the mask on the forehead of the person that he turns into. But it's a very clever little moment, because it's like, how well can you just trust these people? And you've literally just been betrayed by so many people right now. It must be really difficult to know who's your friend, who's your ally. So a really nice episode. I thought the episode in general was just a nice, fun one. It's a good way of introducing a different character whilst also trying to deal with the fact that this guy is a menace and he's taken away all this land. So it sets up the next little chunk nicely. We know what we've got to do. We've got to take this seal away from the guy, but we're also dealing with a new character that we don't know a great deal about. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you guys are looking after yourselves. If you are interested in the Q&A session, please let me know down below, just so I know it's worth doing, and hopefully I can set something up. I'd need to probably find a time when maybe it's late over here and early for you guys, so I'd have to work that out. I will probably be posting in Japan time, so bear that in mind. But I really am excited to do a Q&A, get talking, because so much has happened in the past few days. It's just been a whirlwind. I think it's my 5th day in Japan now. I really am liking it over here. The heat is something completely different, but I have an aircon unit, and I think I like my aircon unit quite a bit because it really does help me a lot. Make sure you let me know in the comments below if you're interested. Keep tuned. Tomorrow's video, Tower of God video, I'm hoping to roll together. So you're going to have Tower of God 5 and 6 in the same video. And then we're just going to have the last outstanding video for this. And we're back on track again. I'm very glad that I did my filler content. I hope you enjoyed the filler content. And you've perhaps seen a lot of cats now. Do let me know if you want any more episodes of those actually recording, and we can get straight on to doing that too. From Japan to you, I hope you're looking after yourselves. Take care, and I'll see you guys again in another video. Bye guys.